Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? What's going on, people, man? This your boy, DJ, part of NFC South versus the NFL. Week 5 is past. I'm here with my boy Mike, as always, and my boy TJ making the appearance again. What's going on, fella?
Hey, man, what's going on, man? Glad to be here.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? I'm glad to be here, too, even though we 1-4.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It should be a happy day for you, though, Mike. I mean, the day that y'all Panthers fans have been waiting for has finally happened. So even though y'all 1-4, I'm pretty sure y'all feel undefeated right now.
Absolutely, because I went from going to put this one on to all black, getting some color.
Because we got a little bit of color at the head coach. You know what I'm
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess we might as well just say, look, this is a long day coming.
Mm-hmm.
I told you this years ago, goddammit. Years ago. And finally, probably about 2-3 weeks ago, you finally like, man, that motherfucker gotta
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Like, man, look, I like, for the most part, staying out here in South Carolina, you run across a lot of Panthers fans, and man, you hate to see them like that. Like for real. Like you, as a Saint fan, you go up there, talk a little noise to a Panther fan. It's like they'll help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It can't be like this, man. Come on, man. You gotta go back at me. I'm like, y'all beat. We the only team y'all beat. Something. They was like, damn, man. Yeah, man. We not that good. I'm like, man, what can you do from there? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if you ever seen 8 Mile, you know what I'm saying, and B-Rabbit just kind of flipped the script. That's kind of like what it is talking to a Panthers fan. So I'm like, man, but I'm glad, man. I think y'all have a really good team, and y'all probably find a really good coach, man. So we'll see.
Yeah. I can't wait to dive into it, man. I'm excited. Just know that I'm excited. It's been a while since we had some experience at this position, but I'm very excited, man. Let's give a couple of shout outs to all these people out here, man. Kimbo Slice, what's going on with you? Kimbo Slice.
Yeah, what's up, Kimbo? What's going on?
Got the Who That Nation all up in here. We got Dwayne Randolph. We got Rico Thomas. Shout out to Charles Nash. Shout out to Michael Alexander. Shout out to JGP Jr. What's good with you?
Jerry, man. A lot of people coming over from the channel. I went over to the State of the Saints podcast, let them know I was going to be over here. So,
yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Shouts out to all the support of the Who That Nation, man.
Yes, sir.
As always, definitely, Michael Charles. And this Trill was good, Trill. My man. I know you, them Panther fans are celebrating right now. Y'all should. Y'all seriously should, because what we see on that field, man, it's been hard to watch y'all film. I'm gonna tell you that much. It's like watching a horror movie over and over again. It's like you see the potential, but it never will reach it because of what you had on that team.
Wait a minute now.
Front office.
Is this the Attack Carolina Panthers segment of the show right now?
Well, shoot, that's like the biggest thing outside of, the NFC South, which we're obviously going to talk about. Obviously, we are now at the quarter of the season. People probably like, well, if you can't add 4. No, after week 5, because now we have 17 games, makes it a quarter.
Right.
That's why we had to wait until week 5 was done, which is cool because I feel like you get a better idea anyway at this point, opposed to 4. You know what I'm saying? Because now we're in October. We're mid-October. I think football, we're about to start seeing what teams are really made of. And we'll see who survived the beginning of the season, which I'll say this. I think a lot of teams need to take a real hard look at how they evaluated and did their preseason coming into the season with their teams. Reason why I say that is because I don't think that helped any injuries. I don't think that helped with continuity out there. I mean, look, we can look across the board with offenses in the NFL. Defenses, for the most part, have been dominating. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing low-scoring games. I mean, you see Mr. who I always put up, Mr. Russell Wilson, let's ride. Looking like football a day in his life. I mean, I mean, you can go all over the place. I mean, you can stay in our division. You can stay with the Bucks. You can stay with the Saints. You can stay the Carolina. And these are all teams that decided to sit people out. Like how? And the one team I think that did not sit him, and I can't wait till our boy, a Falcon fan, get in here, Sean J. They were the only team that went out there and showed and basically did what they were going to be doing at the regular season. And in my opinion, I think it paid dividends because I didn't see them get 2 wins already in this season.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Falcons, to me, as of right now, I told people, like if we talking about based on like stability and the trajectory, I think they're the best team in the division playing as far as right now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about talent. I'm just talking about as far as like believing in what the coach is trying to instill inside of them and what they're trying to do. Now, are they going to be able to tap into that potential? I don't know. But, I mean, you look at shaky coaching on every side. That includes over here with the New Orleans Saints. A lot of Saints fans aren't really that sold on Dennis Allen either. So, I think you got to give him some credit, man. I mean, I don't, we all know how I feel about the Falcons, but I give credit where credit is due. As far as like stability, they probably got the most at this particular time.
I agree 100%. Plus, they have their identity, and I think that's something offensively that neither one of our teams have. It seems like Tampa Bay wants to be a pass-heavy team. 50 passes the past 2 games. I think it was total through 50 passes the week before last 2. I mean, that y'all might be a passing offense. Who knows? We already know the Carolina Panthers have absolutely no identity on offense, none. And the New Orleans Saints are trying to find theirs. But they're the only team that what they're going to do. They're going to try to hit you in the mouth with the run game. They're going to do some play action here and there, get Mariota out in space so he can try to run the ball or get his 1-2 read and take off. Right. So they have their identity, and they're going to say, we're going to play you this way and try to beat us this way, and we're going to go all out in their with their identity, and I can respect that. So that tells me a lot about their coaching. I got to give kudos to them for that.
Yeah. I mean, I look at their record right now. I mean, to be honest, they could easily be 3-1 at this particular point. I'm just being serious. Like the Saints basically has like the jailbreak of the century. And then you count like, even a couple games, I mean, I want to say they played the Rams. They played them pretty tough. I mean, who knows, that Buccaneers game, what could have happened, with that controversial call. Who knows? We don't know what those 2 minutes would have been. But, I mean, they still had opportunity, to win a few games. So, man, you got to be impressed with them. Like I said, I don't like giving them too much credit. But, I mean, y'all know me, man. I got to be honest. Like you got to give them credit, man. They much better than any of us probably thought they would be at this point.
As of right now, I'm very comfortable saying they got the best coaching staff in the NFC South right now. I made mention to this about a year ago because I was like, I don't care for the Atlanta Falcons, and their roster is still, in my opinion, pretty bare. I mean, they've definitely improved.
Right.
But Arthur Smith I gave him credit because I did believe, and it's starting to seem like it's starting to check out that he's going to be a hell of a coach, and that, doesn't bode well for, the other 3 teams. The other 3 teams don't figure it out in the division because if they get a more talented roster, I hear Sean J ass. I ain't trying to hear that. Damn, that's too much Atlanta Falcons talk already, man.
It sure is.
I mean, but look, hey, at that particular time, man, y'all know how it go. I mean, we've been doing this for a couple of years now, and they haven't given us much to talk about. So the fact that we're actually talking about them is probably the longest we ever really talked about them because in its warranty, to be honest. So. I mean, give them credit, man. But I mean, just because they're in a better position don't mean they're going to win the division. I mean, we know that when you're talking about the NFC South, I mean, it's pretty much up for grabs. Any one of these teams, no matter what the coaching situation is, no matter what the player situation is, they can beat one another. So, I mean, you can have all the talent and best coaches possible, but it's all going to come down to the Jimmys and the Joes that's out there performing and being able to execute successfully in order to get these wins. So the NFC South is wide open, man.
It's definitely wide open. 100% agree. And that is a perfect segue, I guess, into where we're at with the standings, which I think.
Yeah. And DJ, there is a little mix up here.
Hey, somebody, I'm about to say somebody think they were Nostradamus, huh? Because
I'm over here like, look at this now. Like the Falcons, they're predicting them to lose already.
Yeah, they already got to say it. They're like, oh man, somebody made this before week 5, huh, man.
Right.
The Saints, they gonna lose to Seattle, man. Let's go ahead and make it 1-4 real quick.
God damn, DJ. Wow, that joke was typing fast, man. That
man said they ain't gonna win no way. I ain't even gonna change it. That man didn't even try to change.
No, didn't even try to change it.
Oops.
but this is something to talk about with the status of the NFC, especially the South, man.
Mm-hmm.
We've taken pride on being one of the better divisions in the NFC, and right now we're looking like the NFC least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we're the worst team as it stands, the worst division as it stands right now in the NFC. And I don't know how to feel about that. I will say this: the Saints got an opportunity to play everybody in that stretch. So that was a little tough. The Bucks have 2 games in, the Falcons have 2 games in, so. We kind of beat up on each other. Mm-hmm. So that kind of reflects the record as well. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying to talk this thing through. I can't let the NFC least look better than us, man. I can't believe, because if you look at this, they're the best team, best division in football or in the NFC right now.
Yeah.
And they argue in football. I mean, we probably AFC too.
Yeah. I mean, look, with the great Macho Man Randy Savage used to say, the cream always rises to the top. Every now and then, what I'm saying? That's what happened. When you're at the bottom, eventually you're going to have to come to the top. And the NFC East has, it's been trash. Yeah. But I can't say it has a lot to do with the fact that, the NFC East, they got some new faces. They got some guys that's been there for quite some time. So I think that has something to do with it. And also, like I said, just the coaching, I think the coaching choices, Brian Daboll, he done a really good job with the Giants. Seems like Mike McCarthy, I don't know what's going on with that. Seems like, I don't know if it's him or I don't know, Dan Quinn. I don't know who it is that's actually helping this, but they look pretty good. The Commanders, I mean, that's a whole nother story. I mean, we know what Rod Rivera said about Carson Wentz. And the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I mean, look. They believe in what Sinceri is trying to build over there. So, and Jalen Hurts is playing out of his mind. So, I mean, you got a lot of positive things out there, but I don't think this is like an indication of what the NFC South is just actually going to be. I just think that all teams, and when it comes to like certain conferences, they kind of go through a little bit of a change. I mean, quarterbacks, coaches, and that could affect the way that some of the conferences played. But I still think that the NFC South has some of the best talent out there. And I don't think that this is going to be a continuous trend. We all know that the NFC South is one of the best divisions. And even though it doesn't look like it now, we know that any one of these teams in this division are capable of beating some of those top teams.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And this can't continue to fly, man. I'm from Jersey.
No way.
I can't, a lot of my people, I'm saying, Eagle fans, Cowboy fans, Giant fans. Yeah, this can't fly.
No. I call September the fool me month, right, in football. Because when you get to October is when you really start to see who everyone is, right? You get to see October, and that's kind of where teams hit their stride. Similar to what you were talking about earlier, DJ, about no one really playing in preseason like that.
Yep.
And then so now you got to get up to speed. That's why offenses are starting slow. We always know defenses are going to start out faster at the beginning of the season because a lot of these guys with 3 preseason games now, not 4, 3 preseason shortened. Even the time of practice has shortened, and then they're not even playing in preseason like that. So they're not really getting the rhythm of their offense until October sometime. Yeah. So, I mean, it's somewhat fool's gold when you look at some of this early in September. So I'm not taking it as, oh, this is just what it is right now. Remember, the Carolina Panthers last year, I believe, started what? 3-0, 4-0, something like that. Took a trip down there, got an L by the Dallas Cowboys, and it was a wrap since.
Yeah, that turned the whole season. I remember that.
Yeah, so I don't believe in September. September been good to me. My wife's birthday in September. September been good to me.
My birthday
is October, November, December ain't been good.
Yeah, but I agree with what you're saying, Mike, about preseason. You know, if you look around the NFC East and you look at some of the teams that are successful right now, man, they played a lot of those guys in preseason, you know, and getting those guys those reps. And I do think that's something that I can speak from a Saints perspective. They didn't really do a lot of playing when it comes to the starters. Like you had like a lot of guys that weren't going to be on a team out there. And I just think that even though, you know, a lot of people ask, you know, should you have starters playing in preseason? I think you should. You know, I don't think that you should just have them on the sidelines and kind of just putting them under bubble wrap, because I think it affects them when it comes to like their overall health, because, you know, they got to get themselves back into football shape. And not only that, it's just the camaraderie, the chemistry between the quarterback and wide receiver, the running back, the offensive line, the defense, especially when you got some new pieces. You know, you need to be able to communicate. And I think those are the times when you can actually learn how to get that together, and you can actually have a little bit of an all 22 where you can kind of go back and take a look and see some of the mistakes that you made. But if you don't have anything but practice, and you're basically not going 100%, even though guys think they do, you don't want to hurt your teammate, I think it does affect the way that some of these teams come out the gate. And I do believe that has a lot to do with how stagnant some of these teams in NFC South have been.
100% agree. I know for a fact, I never liked it because I remember when Dirk Cutter was here as a head coach, which, you know, my man Sean J down there. Welcome to the live, you know what I'm saying? Very,
what's good, TJ? What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey,
I heard you had to pay them alumni dues, man. You know?
Hey,
I ain't mad at you, man.
I'm still paying them. I'm on a little break right now, so I wanted to hop in and set the thing straight from what I've been hearing. But go ahead. Fellas. Keep it rolling, DJ. You thought he was off the hook.
Yeah. Ain't nobody worried about you.
Thought you was off the hook.
Man, let's put that out there. We gonna look at it right now. But I was saying, when your little Dirk Cutter was over here as our head coach, which was a bad decision, he was one of the first people I really saw that sat the entire team, and they were like, "We just wanted to get him to week one. We want to get him to week one." Mm-hmm. We got him to week one. We won week one. Everybody got hurt. Hamstrings, broken ball, just everything. Half the roster was gone after week one.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was his last year anyway. I mean, it was horrible. And I was like, man, you should play players that you expect. You can't predict injuries, right?
Right.
You can't predict it in the season. But I mean, if you're preparing for the season, I think it's less likely to happen in the season. And I don't think teams have caught up to that yet. I think they're still like, let's get to week one. Yeah, I don't know how much that needs to stand.
Yeah.
Right. I think with the Falcons being so bad, well, coming into the year being predicted to be so bad, Mariota without starting for the past 2 years, we had to, you know, put our guys out there during the preseason. So we had to kind of show a little bit of what we were doing, what we're going to do during the season, just so we can get our guys acclimated with playing together and getting some snaps up under their belt. So I think that kind of helped us out the gate with our guys actually being on the field in the preseason. I think they sat during the Jags the last week, but our guys got some real meaningful snaps to where they was able to feel comfortable, or not comfortable enough to, you know, we're only as good as our roster, right, our talent. But I think guys are really maximizing. I think Terry Fontenot, Arthur Smith is really maximizing what we do have. So this year is kind of a building year. Next year, the cap money is going to open up $100+ million. So you know,
my name is Alvin Floyd.
It's gonna be. It may get ugly for you, DJ. So you got to steal them while you can. Steal them while you can.
Business administration, and currently I am a retirement consultant for.
DJ crazy, boy. Why you make that face, fam?
I'm trying to figure out what that was. I'm like, what the hell? What? Okay.
Well, you want to get into the big news, man, of what was going on this past weekend? What's the big talk, man? And we ain't talking about my Panthers right now. We'll get into it. We got to talk about y'all games, especially since we got Sean on. We got to talk about that bull crap flag. I'm gonna let y'all handle that. That bull crap flag, the daggone Tom Brady rule, the Michael Jordan rule. Come on now,
man. Listen, all right. If you don't know, which everybody in this mug probably already know, if you watch any talk show or whatever, basically at the end of the game when the Falcons finally figured out that we were playing football, basically they had us on a third down. Grady Jarrett did a twist from the outside, which I don't even know how he got all the way across like that. But he ended up sacking Tom Brady, swinging him, which almost cost him to hit his head. Almost. You know what I'm saying? It was so close. It was so close to almost his head, man. And they called it roughing the passer, man. It was probably, it was the worst call I think we watched. I wouldn't say ever.
No, it definitely wasn't ever. I mean, can I interest you in 2018?
Yeah,
I knew that. I know that.
Worst 9 call, I should say.
I know it messed up the morale of Atlanta Falcons. They thought they were going to come back. Even though they still had to come back, they probably had to go 80 yards to do it. We don't know what was going to happen, but they were robbed. They were robbed of the opportunity to try to come back. I think that was when Marcus Mariota was going to give us his weekly interception or fumble, because he's done it every single week. It was overdue if they did get that thing, but they didn't get it. So, y'all thoughts on the pass interference? And that wasn't the only one, obviously, for the week. We saw the Kansas City Chiefs and the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Josh Allen BS in Baltimore when he straight stomped himself on the ground, called a little attitude to get a flag. I mean, these pass interference. I mean, these roughing the passes, getting out of control, man. Like, what are we going to do here? I mean, you want to talk about the Sean J? You want to talk about it just in the Tom Brady aspect, or you going to put it in with this is some bull across the league?
Hey, this is. I'm gonna talk about Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady, he's a crybaby. Like legit, he's legit crying for flags. He's supposed to be the greatest of all time. He getting up crying for flags. He's breaking tablets. He's yelling when he's coming off the field. Whenever he don't get a touchdown, whenever his players don't run the right route, he's kicking my man Grady Jarrett multiple times during the game. Mm-hmm. Like, how are we to celebrate this guy and really give him his flowers when he do nothing but piss, bitch, and moan every fucking game? Excuse my language, guys, but that's ridiculous. That's like, I'm a Jordan guy, so you can't compare him to Jordan. You can't find any tapes of Jordan acting like a petulant child. This guy is he's a baby, bro. For him to be so good, that's why he don't get the respect around the league as he should, is because of his actions. And that's what it takes for him to win. You got a sack. He got killed way worse than that his whole career. But he knew that sack could possibly lead to them losing that game. So he pitched a fit. The referee gave into it. The same referee that gave into Josh Allen beating on the ground when he got hit last game. He may be scared of the white quarterbacks. He may. Jerome Boger, he's from Atlanta. I actually seen him. I actually visited his church once. So this was sort of 2015. This was when the pastor let everybody wear their jerseys to church. So this 2015, the pastor wore a Carolina Panther Cam Newton jersey. So this was the Cam Newton dab era. So that's when I seen Jerome Boger. He is legit an Atlanta dude. So for him to screw us over like that, being a Morehouse man, grew up in Atlanta, it really cuts even deeper than what you know. If it's like, if anybody know what we go through, bro, it's you. You see us at the grocery store. You see us, out playing with your kids. Come on, bro. You know what we dealing with, and to screw us like that, it's ridiculous. For the Bucks, you guys needed that help. You needed that. That saved you.
What?
You were shut down.
What?
We were putting foots in you as a unmanned. We were missing our top 2 players, and that's what it took for you to win. No respect, man. No respect for you.
Listen, man.
Take your victory.
That had nothing
and keep
to
it
do
moving.
why y'all even came back in that game.
Keep it moving.
That had nothing to do with the reason why y'all came back in that game. It literally came down to the Bucks damn near just putting their own foot in their damn mouth with just doing dumb stuff. And look, I'll give you credit. Y'all had 2 nice little run drives to get touchdowns. But that game should have been a blowout. That game should have been ugly. Look, we had over 300 yards at halftime. There is no reason they should only had 21 points on that board. They went for a 4th and down and failed. That's what happens. That was one of the long drives that they did. It was a fail there.
So did you tackle yourself? Did you tackle yourself? Did you pressure yourself on that 4th down?
I mean, he hit the wrong hole.
How didn't you get the 4th down? Like
these
3 and outs that you had, did you just go out there and kneel the ball 3 times? Were you trying to gain yards?
Oh, you trying to say because y'all stopped it?
Oh, we was on the field too. It was 22 players on the field. You only can have 11.
A bunch of yards that got put up on y'all with y'all on the field. You right.
It's 11 other people on the field too, trying to stop you.
And guess what?
Y'all did. I don't even have to guess. I know we did. The only person that stopped us was the referees. The referee is the only person that stopped us.
I don't see. Listen, y'all had a whole game. You sat on here and got on the whole New Orleans Saints only played 1 quarter and cried about that when they beat y'all. But
though, I gave New Orleans credit.
And that was the problem.
I gave them credit because they finished the game
like
60 minutes. They came and took.
And y'all barely even played a quarter. And you mad because y'all ain't got an opportunity.
And we
act like y'all were winning, and that was like a way for us to get into the end zone. Like
we damn near did the same thing the Saints did to us.
Score.
Like I said, there was other things that happened. Showed that it was possible to play 1 quarter.
Highlight of that because once again, it's not going to take away from how bad of a call that was. So I'm not going to sit here and talk about the pass interference, the BS, other roughing the passer call that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about the Mariota getting a little shove and he just straight flops on the ground and he gets a little flag. And, because y'all end up getting a little bit up the field, Mariota gets sacked. Now you had a field goal range and Cool missed the field goal. Nobody want to talk about that because then it didn't amount to points. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying the call from Brady was some bull. I will sit here all day and say that call should never be called 10 out of 10 times. But don't sit here and just act like, that was the one thing in the game that just ended everything.
It did. You're talking about we're time in the game, down in distance, critical. That's a critical point in the game, man. That the difference between the Chiefs roughing the passer, they had 2.5 quarters. They had 2.5 quarters to recover from that. When they call that penalty on us, it put you in field goal range, which you could have kicked it from there. It'd have been a 2-possession game, but you got a first down and the game was over. So we're talking about time in the game, down in distance. That matters. And then you got to look at it. We put the clamps on you guys. Like, your offense is, if it wasn't for Baker Mayfield, it probably would be worse in the division. I might take Andy Dalton over Tom Brady right now. This guy threw 10. This guy threw right 10 passes 10 passes to the running back, 6 passes
That's been Tom Brady. Tom Brady built a career off of throwing to the running back.
Dunk, man. You guys do not.
Can somebody tell me that has not been true throughout Tom Brady's career?
Not since he got to Tampa. He's been pushing the ball down the field. since he got to Tampa. Mike Evans, I know he was there during the first half of the
going
game.
to the running backs. He's won multiple Super Bowls, moving the chains with using underneath routes, which involved running backs and tight ends, which I'm pretty sure he did with Cade Otton and Leonard Fournette this game. It's not going to always be that week. It was just the week that they decided to do that. Y'all decided to play off coverage with your corners. I saw them, playing that stuff. So what are you going to do? You're giving all the underneath stuff. Leonard Fournette was able to bust off, 4.5 a carry? The only running back in the game that had over 4 yards. I mean, running back. We're not talking about Marcus Mariota.
As a team, you had only 3+ yards to carry. So, but that's neither here or there. We know Mike Evans was there in the first half. Godwin was there in the first half. I guess they didn't decide to come out the second half.
I guess also missed throws in that.
We don't know what happened.
Tom Brady missed throws. Watched all 22.
It was Brady.
Now
he missed throws
in that game. It's called what you
want. 22. We can look. He missed throws.
Yes, he did. He missed throws.
Okay.
I don't want to get in y'all a heated battle.
They won the game. Now I give them credit. They won the game. That's what the record says. But we know, we watched the game. And you came out, I was hurt. I was distraught from the flag. You was hurt because of the way your team played.
Yes, I was.
You knew y'all didn't play up the par. I was hurt because I felt like the game got taken away from us. But I felt like we played a valiant game and we stepped up to y'all, which y'all are getting worse as each year go by. I think y'all are down a couple notches. This is not a good Bucs team, fellas. It's not. I think they escaped away the New Orleans game. If it wasn't for the little fight fiasco, I can't say Baker Mayfield's going to beat you, but he may beat you. If you can get over, Aaron Rodgers did say after the game 21, if they can get to 21, they knew they was going to beat the Buccaneers. It seemed like you guys got a ceiling on y'all. I think that it may be out there that you guys are not what you say you are. And for us not to have Pitts and Patterson, and we still should have walked you guys down. Come on, brother. I'm feeling better.
We still got a defense.
I wasn't supposed to win, but 2 games.
Defense. Our receiving core is just like I said, you can feel what you're gonna feel. We at week 5, right? If that's the approach you want to take and you believe that, and I think people are catching up to Atlanta Falcons. How many times
we ran for 160 yards? We ran for 160 yards
on that little BS little rollout that he likes to do because players were sitting there waiting on him to do that.
Exactly.
Cordell Patterson being gone is going to really hurt your offense. I don't think. Listen, Mariota and Kyle Pitts don't seem like they have any type of connection. You can say he is a threat because he's a decoy. He can do all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But we haven't seen anything between Kyle Pitts and Marcus Mariota make him seem like, oh, this is a tandem you got to watch out for. Marcus Mariota dropping back is as bad as Baker Mayfield dropping back. So don't sit here and act like your Atlanta Falcons out here ready to start just taking over and doing stuff. And then your defense is giving up a butt. Come on, man. Don't sit outside of if something happens to Grady Jarrett, which I swear to God, I hope nothing happens to Grady Jarrett. Your defense is going to be trash. Period.
Why would you say you hope nothing happens?
I hope it doesn't.
That's just like somebody saying, well, I'm not trying to say nothing racist, but then they turn around and say something racist.
That's what you gonna say, you know how valuable.
Why are you wishing that on my dog Grady Jarrett because he was in your backfield all game, and now you want him gone? Now you want my man's off the team. You want him off the
Grady Jarrett.
You trying to send my guy to IR?
Talk whatever you want to talk. Do your little giggle shit. I've always liked Grady Jarrett. I've never had a problem with Grady Jarrett. I'm happy y'all paid him and everything. So don't even try to sit here and play that little play whatever sheet.
You know he was in that backfield all game long. TJ saw him too.
All right. Well,
you know, impressive.
He definitely lined up against Luke Ortega. He knew where he needed to be. Let's just say that he knew where he needed to be. And he destroyed him,
man. I say, he good. I give him that.
Yeah, he good.
I don't mean to bust your bubble, DJ, but you guys are not going nowhere this year, man. So we all gonna be on the couch early.
That's not possible.
See, you came in the year. You came in the year
somebody
saying,
gotta go.
Bro, you were saying 13 before the season. You were saying 13 wins. You saying 12, 13 wins, brother.
Nah. I said 11. Yeah, I said 11 to 13. I'm still standing by my 11 to 13. I definitely am.
That's 12 or 13. Never mind. I ain't in this conversation. That's
yeah. It says 1 and 4. Just stay in the basement, man. Don't even worry about this. This grown folk conversation.
What I see,
what I say is this.
Relax, man. Just
no, because now you just started.
You know what I'm saying?
You just started.
Yeah.
You didn't start.
What's down there right now?
All I'm gonna say is this, DJ. We've seen this in the preseason, and it's been 5 weeks. Your team has struggled to really put up points offensively, and it could be, like I mentioned before, the effect of Bruce Arians not being there. It could be Tom Brady's getting older. But I will say this. We're not going to sit over here and act like what Sean just said wasn't some truth. This guy he act like a total brat. You've seen these kids over here, right? Some of these new generational kids that think that they can just pout and whine and do all that. They throw a tantrum and then just get what they want. Tom Brady is the epitome of that. That's what he just showed over there. He said, wham. Look at me. I just got hit. But yet he kicks this man. He kicks at this man, and then they throw a flag on him.
What they do that?
I would definitely say this.
Down there, and it wasn't pass interference to a guy, Scotty Miller, that you don't even like.
I'll give you this. Tom Brady has wore his emotions on his sleeve more this season than we've seen, and we're seeing the things. Hey, he's human, right?
He's unraveling, bro.
What?
He's going through a divorce. He's unraveling.
He's going through life things right now. You know what I'm saying?
His wife is posting on Instagram.
It's on his face. You know what I'm saying? You can see he's thinner. Like, you can tell he's different. That's very obvious. Like I said, you watched all 22. Sometimes looking like you could have stand there for one more second. You got this guy coming open. I watched Tom Brady do that in years past.
Tap dancing like Gregory Hines.
Look, it reminded me of LeBron James walking over Draymond and Draymond getting suspended because he knew they were about to get beaten that championship. So that's what it reminded me of, right? But I felt like, because Jordan, we talked about Jordan. Jordan doesn't do stuff like that, but I'll say LeBron does. But I'm not going to get too much into it. But I seen this in 2015, right? Something similar with a guy that was considered one of the best to ever do it in Peyton Manning. Salute to Peyton Manning. Mm-hmm. Go out on his white horse. Let it ride. What Russell Wilson say? Let's ride. Go out on his white horse in that final season. And I felt like, just watching it, that there were some things out there that didn't go our way. So it was kind of like my guys were like, dang, we already set up. We know what's going to happen here. So the morale happened. Now, we talked about them going home early. I don't know. And the only reason why I say I don't know is because everybody loves a storyline because it's clickbait and it sells tickets and all of that. DJ and them are winning strictly because of the Tom Brady effect. They're going to go far just because of the Tom Brady effect. And I guarantee you, they will at least be in the NFC Championship game. And it won't be due to the talent that's there. It's going to be because of those zebras.
Yeah, you gotta beat Brady and the refs. You gotta beat them. If it's close, you lose.
I'm gonna need you
if it's one possession, you're gonna lose. That's just how it is with Brady.
You didn't see this man pout for 20 years.
Exactly.
Man.
Hey, man.
I just gotta say this. I just gotta say this, man. I find this extremely funny. You know, back in 2018, when the Saints got screwed by the referees with the Rams, and all I heard from Falcon fans was, "Man, y'all had your opportunities, y'all had your chance, but guess what? The chickens came home to roost, baby. Because guess what? what Miss Sealy said on The Color Purple? The same thing is done to me, gonna be done to you." And that's exactly what happened, man. I find it funny. Look, was it egregious? Yes, it was. But I have to say, man, after hearing this for years and seeing it happen, chef kiss. I ain't gonna lie to you. Look, no, Sean, I don't know if
I
you
respect
heard.
you, bro. I respect you. I get
I
it.
don't know. Look, I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard. I still feel like I said this. As far as like being complete out of the teams that are on here right now represented, you guys are better. I did say that as of right now. But still, man, I look, the chickens came home to roost Sunday, man. And I'm sorry it happened. But I'm saying
is it happened in the regular season. To happen to go to the Super Bowl, that's a little bit. That might have punctured a lung, but I just got a little incision, so I was able to move on. I ain't moved on yet.
No, you didn't.
This shit, they still talking about it every damn day. I can't even cut on ESPN. They still talking about it.
Sean, but let me tell you this though, man. I look. Shouts out to Brian McFadden. Now I had him on my podcast earlier today, and we were talking about this, man. We were talking about the referees, and he was saying like, man, calls like this could affect, like, let's just say, for example, if the Atlanta Falcons get hot and they like one game out, right? Y'all win a game and y'all just watching the Jumbotron, you know what I'm saying? Hoping for another team to lose. Now think about this particular game right here. This could be the deciding factor maybe later on down the line if this team can get into the playoffs. So I want, man, they need a level of accountability when it comes to these referees. Seriously, man. Like, I don't care what side of the coin you on. They need some accountability because it's affecting these teams long term. We're not looking at it now because it's still pretty early in the season. But when we combine all the games that our team played, we're gonna start looking back at some of these flags, we're gonna start looking back at some of these play calls, and we're gonna be like, man, we was a play away, we was a ref call away from being to that point, and I would hate for us to be in this position. Now, if a team just stink and it's just not our year, I think it would be more easier to accept than looking back and just saying, oh, man, that roughing a passer call cost my team a shot at the playoffs. So they got to do something about these referees, man. And I do feel like they do cater to certain players. I think we all have to admit that. They blow the whistle and they cater to some of these players that have a certain level of star power because they rely on these players to be upright and make big plays in order for them to service their bottom line. I mean, we got to accept that. Rather we support the person that they are protecting or not, they do it for some of these players, and it's not fair.
Facts. And Brady is at the top of that. Brady's at the top of that. Patrick Mahomes got slung down the very next night in the same exact manner. Mm-hmm. Got up, ran up off the field. But Brady, he knows the importance. He knew the situation, and he was going to make sure that he finessed it.
That's that LeBron effect to me. LeBron knew they were down 3-0 or something like that, 3-1, and so he had to make it was intelligent, right? Mm-hmm. I got to give him credit. I got to give Tom Brady credit because it was intellect. If you have, that's that privilege. Whatever we want to call it, that's that effect. That's that privilege. So he knew he had that opportunity there. You got to do what you got to do to win football games. And that's what makes him so special is because whether it's the Tuck rule, he going to sit over there and hide on it and say it's the Tuck rule. 15, 20 years later, he going to tell everybody it was a fumble. Oh. He's going to do whatever he has to do to win football games. So I respect that. So it's week 5. It sucks, but you all you still got plenty of opportunity to make this up. So
yeah, I don't respect that, man. Pick the camera up, bring it up, because you got all down low and shit, man. Bring the camera up. Pick it up, man. Pick it up.
Trying to see me, bro.
They're gonna definitely be crying about this game though.
What?
By the end of the season, we're gonna be talking about this again.
Yeah.
You good. You can leave it down. He messing with you, man. Get comfortable.
Man, it's just I just feel like the NFL is a little bit reactionary. Like they don't call, like I feel like they don't call plays based on the letter of the law. They basically call plays based on public opinion, right? Now, all of this, you can kind of basically sum this up to what happened to Tua Tagovailoa, right? It was kind of similar to the same type of sack, but you look at no flag was called at that particular time, and a guy had temporary paralysis. And now you fast forward to this game, like they're basically reacting off what they seen happen in that game in Miami, Miami and Cincinnati. So I just feel like they're too reactionary. I think that we would be more willing to accept this if we were actually seeing them practice some of the things they were doing consistently versus we're watching these Monday morning quarterback shows, these hot takes about how they're officiating, and they take it to heart. And then you start to see them changing it around, and it's affecting these teams. All I'm saying is we need transparency. It's okay for y'all to call some of these calls if you're consistently calling them, but calling them for one guy, not calling them for another guy. Like, I feel like you should have the same energy with Lamar Jackson as you do with Tom Brady, even though Lamar Jackson is a more of a running quarterback than Tom Brady is. We just need a level of transparency. We need something to be stuck to the letter of the law, so we won't be having conversations like this. But as long as they continue to, throw flags for certain guys, and it's like disrespectfully obvious right now. Like, basically, they're like, as fans, they're basically playing with our emotions because we can actually see them treat certain players a certain way, and we're going to forever be having this conversation. And I'm wondering at this particular point, guys, do the NFL actually want to continue to have these conversations, maybe to give some of these talking heads something to talk about on Monday morning? But as a fan, I got to tell you, man, when my team, week 18, and I'm looking at a game where the referee just kind of phoned it in on my squad, I'm looking at the NFL completely different. So they better be careful, man, because they can really taint their product right now, and they can turn a lot of people off. So they better be careful with what they're doing going forward.
Absolutely. I know a lot of my father-in-law. Shout out to my father-in-law. He's a Rams fan, and we got the Rams this week, so this is gonna be a fun week. He's mentioned that he's a big fan of baseball. He's
I see DJ like it's gonna be fun until the
I know. Look, man, it is what it is. But the NFL, I felt like this for a while with the NBA, and we talked about this offline, but I hate to put this out there, man, but I got to speak my truth from what I'm seeing. I pray that this game can stay authentic because it's the best game that we got, man, to watch. And so I love it every Sunday, man, every Thursday now to be able to get to watch this game and for them to make it fixed for money. And because, the TV deals are getting bigger, all these people are making money for it to be fixed. It just, I pray and hope it's not going that route. But everything in me from what I'm seeing is aligning up to that.
Yeah.
And so it's sad, man. And it's being controlled, unfortunately, it looks like, by the quarterbacks and the officials.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the NFL is in the entertainment business. My bad, DJ. But the NFL, I feel like it's in the entertainment business. So they got to make sure that their product is, entertaining. So, and I think a lot of this discussion that goes on is, in part, it goes in with it. They like the discussion, just like it may be driven from Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. He really set the blueprint of what an NFL team or the NFL should be. And I think that this is just a big ass, a big ass draw out of what he started, to where, like, shit, even if we don't win, even if we're not perfect, at the very least, we're going to be entertaining. So that's why we keep coming back every Sunday, talking about it Monday through Sunday, because of that entertainment factor. So,
yeah.
And I think we could, I mean, when it comes down to that, I forgot who I saw say it. They're going to have to put that eye in the sky. I mean, that's how we got to the point of reviewing plays, right? I mean, after a bunch of stuff that a lot of games that, even with the Bucks, when you're talking about the catch, no catch, we had Bert Emanuel, you know what I'm saying? Like, not being able to go back and really review or really watch and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They had to make this decision to now review, plays. Now it's going to be the same thing. Now they're going to have to get somebody to review the reviewer. Now it's going to be that. Every job is doing it, right? Think about your job in general. You got somebody reviewing the reviewer. It's going to have to happen in the NFL, or like you guys are saying, this is going to start going the wrong direction. And that's the main reason why I watch the NBA, because that junk is not watchable, in my opinion. I love college basketball, but I can't do NBA, man. I can't do it.
And I think right now, like, I think it is mostly just speculation. Now, think about this.
Right.
If you knew that the games were fixed, if you knew that they wanted teams to be able to, cover a certain spread on a particular Sunday? Would it change your perspective about the NFL? See, right now we're having conversation because, it's like it looks that way, but we don't know for sure. But if we was to know that for sure, how would we feel about the NFL right now? Is my question to y'all. So,
I don't know if it'll be watchable. I mean, like I said, I mean, if you knew the outcome was already basically planned at the end of the game, I couldn't do it. I mean, I really don't think so. Because, like, I come for that suspense. I come for what Sean Jay expected the end of that game to look like, right? That last drive. Are they going to be able to stop him? Are they going to be able to, you know what I'm saying? We're here for them last 2 minutes. That's why this game is so interesting as a game. So many games come down to that last 2 minutes. That's why Sean Jay feel the way he does right now. He feels like he was robbed of that 2 minutes of being able to see if they can make a comeback. They've already, Atlanta Falcons are known for giving up leads. They're like, can we reverse this right now? We can to turn over the curse right now. You know what I'm saying?
We would have exercised so many demons. It would have happened against Tom Brady. The guy that actually put the hex on us.
Good TV
he broke out the voodoo doll, man.
Everybody would have been showing it, right? It would have been everywhere. That game would have been the one game. Almost if every other game was over, they're watching that one last drive.
Yeah,
and they were robbed of that.
Sick.
Jesus, Sean, you got me getting a little tear right here, man.
Hey, man, you felt it. You felt it coming.
I know I didn't. I was fine. We y'all punt. Y'all scored a touchdown, punt, scored a touchdown. It was time for y'all to punt or throw an interception. That's what was going to happen in my eyes because I just didn't. I can't imagine Marcus Mariota driving down the field in 2 minutes for a game-winning touchdown when he has not shown me that anything like that during the season. Everything is predicated on y'all run. Y'all had to run that thing, but y'all couldn't really do that because you would have been in 2-minute mode. I don't know. I could
have ran it for 99 yards on one play, but we was robbed of that. We could have. A lot of things could have happened, but we were robbed. So, hey.
Right. We'll never know, though. We'll never know. You're 2-3. We're 3-2. You get another opportunity against us at y'all home. Mark the calendar.
Hey, but ready. the way you guys are playing, you're not gonna run away with division. You're gonna stay right there.
Yep. And that's what TJ said earlier. TJ said the same thing earlier. It's up for grabs.
Right. It is up for grabs. It is up for grabs. 3-2. Saints and Atlanta 2-3, and Panthers 1-4.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got a lot of football. And I know the Bucks. I mean, I know New Orleans. What y'all 1-2 in the division? 1-2?
Yeah, 1-2. Yeah.
Yeah, we 0-2. I you had that wrong on the but it should be one. I see where you got it mixed up. You should have got the win last week. I see where you got it mixed up. But I got Steelers this week for sure.
Yeah, he had the Saints down there with my pen, and I'm glad you did my team because I don't want my team being next to 1-4. But it's all good. Speaking of my Panthers, man, if y'all don't mind, you want to go ahead and transition to the next big news, man. That's down here in Carolina, man. If you haven't heard, you must be under a daggone rock. The Carolina Panthers have parted ways with Matt Rule. Wow. I can't believe this. I'm in like total shock.
Look, I'm about to say, 3 weeks ago,
great actor. Hey,
3 weeks ago, you would have been.
An award goes to.
Look, Matt Rule came in, man. I'm a man of faith, right? Mm-hmm. So he gives that charismatic Southern Bible Belt vibe. And so he knows how to win over a crowd. Now, I'm not dissing any pastors. My father's a pastor. My father-in-law's a pastor. And so I respect everything that they do because we definitely need them, the legit ones. And so thank you for that. I greatly appreciate it. But Matt Rule, it was just something about him that he seems like a really, really good guy, right? A really, really good guy. And I root for the good guys, man. I really do, because good guys finish last. So I rooted for this, man. I ate my daggone pro. I ain't going to keep doing this every show.
You ain't got to. It's over after this show.
But Matt Rule had his fair, man. He had way too many chances, man, to get this thing fixed. And one thing I will say, and I'm going to keep saying this was the first time that I really felt like this team gave up on a game. And it was the perfect time for them to give up on a game, because most of the guys that gave up was defense. And I found it very strange that Steve Wilks was part of the defense and the secondary, and Xavier Woods didn't play. Jeremy Chin was out. J.C. Horn left. I started seeing all kind of things happen, right? But it had to happen. Matt Rule was the QB killer. He knows how to build. I call him, what Bob the Builder? Matt the Builder. He's Matt the Builder. I think he did a really good job in the draft. He just could not coach men, lead men over the hump. He just couldn't win football games. He's a great guy. And like I said, I root for the great guys. He could not win football games. I've seen Arthur Smith with the worst football team win more football games than this guy did. I seen Steve Wilks with his first opportunity to coach the Arizona Cardinals with Josh Rosen as his quarterback, doggone it, do a better job coaching than Matt Rule with all of this talent. This guy here was, what's your coach, man, from Tampa Bay? Greg Schiano. He was DJ and I talked about this 2 or 3 years ago when he hired him, and said DJ was like, he gives off this Greg Schiano vibe. It's something about these college guys. He wants to be all hands on, all this is his way, no way. You know, he's still trying to treat these men as boys in a way, young men, and just trying to do that college system and nephewtism, like my boy Pat Coltrane says, where I'm going to get this guy from Temple, I'm going to get this guy from Baylor, even though they aren't up to par to the level of real NFL talent, but I'm going to put them in position because those are my guys based on relationships. This is a business. He finessed David Tepper to 7 years, $70 million, $10 million a year. He finessed David Tepper to really think that this man was going to come in and just be his guy, analytical, this guy, this and that. You know, you got to watch out for these fast-talking brothers, man, these guys. You got to watch out for these fast-talking guys. That sometimes they words just come together and you don't know what they're saying. They're like, dang, it just sounds inspiring. You got to watch out for him, man. Matt Rule, he just was impatient. I think he's a great guy. I'm so glad he's gone. It's new life in Carolina. It's new vibes. It's new everything. And we got an experienced coach that's been coaching since 1995. And he's been in this run when we've had success. He's an epitome guy of keep pounding. He's from the city of Charlotte. He's a West Charlotte graduate. He's a brother. I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited about this, man. Matt Rule, kudos to you, because it feels like a guy like Steve Wilks should have got the $70 million, 7 years. But now it's a fast-talking you-know-what guy was able to finesse another you-know-what guy to get paid. And now my guy got to take over this team, interim coach, making what he makes, and probably won't even get an opportunity to have this head coaching job. But you're going to pay this man. Look, I can go on for, I'm not going to keep going on this rant. I got too much to talk about. My head is all about to explode. Matt Rule just couldn't get the job done. And I'm so excited about the future of Carolina as long as David Tepper can humble himself. And that's another topic, because his interview, his presser, it was disgusting. It's disgusting.
Scumbag, man. Just call for what it is. I say it. He a scumbag. He a scumbag. He a scumbag. What he did down in Rock Hill was some BS. What he doing with the ticket prices, what he did to that soccer team, firing a coach after hiring him, he's a scumbag. Anyway, you can continue, Mike. I just want to say it.
No, you're right, man. He is a scumbag. But the great thing about this happening, it wasn't about the play. It wasn't even about it was somewhat about the fans.
Whoa, true.
This game here, if you watch this game, you would have thought it was a 49ers home game. It was so much red. No, I ain't gonna go there. But it was so much red in that stadium that David Tepper was like, no more, because it's all about money. It's all about money. It's the business here. And who is going to generate some type of buzz to try to get seats in there? A guy that's from Charlotte that the Carolina Panthers beloved, and that's Steve Wilks. He did the same thing by bringing Cam Newton back last year when we were trash, just to bring back the morale to put seats in there. Matt Rule is done. I'm excited about what's going on here. Steve Wilks is going to keep Ben McAdoo, which I think they're going to work well together, and you're going to see us run the ball a whole lot more. Phil Snow got up out of there. He took Matt Rule, Phil Snow, everybody that's associated with Matt Rule, get up out my locker room. I don't want no parts of it. I don't want no parts of this. I don't want no parts of this college thing. I'll keep some of the players. And PJ, the reason why you here is because I ain't got nobody else right now. Matt Corral's on IR, Sam Donald hurt, and Baker Mayfield walking around in the boot. If I ain't had that situation, you would be up out of here too. I'm working on trying to get Robbie out of here, but nobody wants to give us more than a 7th-round pick. I'm getting everybody Rule is associated with out of this locker room.
Wait, you said Ben McAdoo going too?
Nah, he's still here, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do well, man. It's a different energy, it's a different vibe, it's a different way of practicing. The NFL is what it is, man, and the college coaching. Yes, thank you. I'm all out of it, man. I want some experience. I want somebody that knows what he's doing and that knows how to practice and lead men. And I'm excited for this opportunity for Steve Wilks because I didn't feel like he got a fair shot in Arizona. So let's see what happens, man. Well, I mean, it's exciting.
Many people that look like us don't in the NFL, so that's a whole nother topic for another day.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
It's true. You know, but yeah, I mean, you said everything needed to be said by Matt Rule, man.
For real, I got
I've been preaching Matt Rule BS for now 2 years. I said it. I was like, all right, well, let's see what it looks like. And I was like, and I even gave y'all credit. I was like, look, he's definitely building that roster, but what matters is those in-game decisions, how the decisions you make week by week, setting up game plans. And you said, nah, he gonna be hands off. You said yourself, he a fast talker, right? He was doing more behind the scenes than he was trying to make it sound like he wasn't. And I felt that way for a while, Matt Rule. And like I said, I felt like David Tepper liked Matt Rule because he reminded him of himself. He said scumbag. I'm sorry, let me stop. He came off religious. And look, if you're religious in here, you love, Christ, I ain't got nothing against you. How many people hide behind that and try to act like they're a good person in front of it? I'm sorry. I'm not going to go deep into this because that's not my place to do that. But, I mean, hell, I hate to bring this up. I ain't calling him a serial killer. Anybody see that Jeffrey Dahmer's? I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, Christianity is something they've been hiding behind for a long time. So, we're going to be that long. But I'm just saying, like that part, and it finessed you. Like you said, he finessed it. He going to be making $847,000 a year for the next 6 or 7 years. That man got paid. Hey, congratulations, man.
A month.
Oh, month. My bad. Yeah, a month. That's crazy. But
look, I mean, I'm not really that close to the situation. Like y'all down that way, dealing with that. I don't know, man. I just think that this is another case where just college coaches just can't pan out, in the National Football League. Like it's a difference. I think Keyshawn Johnson said it best. He said, man, it's hard for you to really get in the face of a guy who got a car seat in his back, in the back of his car. Like you got to treat this man accordingly. And it's different. Like you can get into the face of a 17, 18-year-old kid and try to, coach something out of him. You can't do that to no grown man. He might slap you upside the head. So I don't know. I don't think that this is an indication of what Matt Rule is as a coach. I mean, look, I think the phone going to be ringing. You got a lot of college programs out there that's looking for a coach. Two I can just think of right off the bat. Nebraska, Auburn going to be looking most likely. I mean, throw Wisconsin in that thing. So he's going to have opportunities, man. And there's going to be a college program that is going to pick him up based on the fact of him being a builder. Me personally, look, if Matt Rule decides to get old and he don't want to coach no more, I think he'll be a good general manager or somebody that can be like in a front office, because he did a really good, like he did a really good job at building the team. Like that draft that you all had a couple of years ago, where he drafted all defensive players. Like you look at somebody like Jeremy Chin, now he got a C across his chest. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you right there that they did their due diligence on that guy, you know, in order to get him up in that thing, you know, in order to get him coached up. They believed in the makeup, and now look at him. So it's not like they made too many mistakes. I think he's really great at what he does, but it's a different beast when you're dealing with grown men. You can't approach them like you do some of these kids, man. You can't do it because, I mean, the first time you do that, that will be the last time, and you will lose the locker room and you will lose the confidence of those players. So, I mean, look, he's going to find a job. I mean, he goes from being a lame duck coach to the hottest sought out college coach that they, you know what I'm saying, that's available right now. So I just think, you know, think about it. Nick Saban, Lou Holtz, Urban Meyer. I mean,
Urban Meyer?
Yeah, I mean, great coaches, right? I mean, national championship coaches, but it's a different beast when you're dealing with grown men, man.
Absolutely.
Facts. Hey. Anything else on the topic, Sean? You good with Mike's soliloquy?
He broke that down,
man. Hey, man, Mike took it there.
Right.
Mike did what he was supposed to do with it. That was his time. He was waiting on this all year.
I felt that.
So,
I felt that.
Yeah, they let you off the hook by getting you.
You have to cut that
week 5. I wanted to see a big build up. I wanted to build up 10 weeks and see what you would turn into. But I like that 5 weeks. I wanted to. Me personally, I'm mad that I didn't get to play the Matt Rule Panthers this year. I wanted 2 victories over him, but I guess I have to contend with Steve Wilkes. You know, I have to be. Don't want to do that brother like that, but I will. So,
well, just know it's gonna be we're gonna have an identity with this man, and that's something that I don't believe we've ever had on offense with Matt Rule. And even when Teddy was here, man, Teddy comes off from playing with the Saints and winning 5-6 straight, getting these men to the playoffs, doing his thing, and he comes over to Carolina and he's the best quarterback we've had in the Matt Rule era. And you get impatient with this man and just decide I'm just going to get rid of him and go trade picks for Sam. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's move on.
Do you think that's Matt Rule's fault that you guys just essentially missed out on the quarterback? Because like TJ was saying, the defense has been built up nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Already had Christian McCaffrey, who can't stay healthy.
Right.
DJ Moore is a good wide receiver one. Is essentially you missed out on a quarterback that could really took you guys to another level, playoff contending level. So is that all Matt Rule, or is that partly Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, moving on from Teddy Bridgewater? Like, how much is Matt Rule actually responsible for that? Because he can't go out and execute for Baker Mayfield. I don't think that was his fault. The way if we all saw Baker play this year, I think he might have got fired for all the boos that you hear, because that's all I hear on the TV now watching the Panthers is the boos. And the owners is going to get you out of here for that. But I think he was probably just as cringe as we were watching Baker Mayfield, knowing that was going to be what essentially got him out of there.
Yeah,
everything else was kind of brought up, you know, from better than what it was turned over to him with.
Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, and that's another point I was going to get to. Check out my video I did on here. Matt Rule is a QB killer. And the reason why I say that is Teddy Bridgewater. Yes, he had his best touchdown numbers, but he was the best one when it came to QBR, and I think that was maybe about 50, something like that, right? On a scale of 1 to 100. And if you watch Skip Bayless, he loved to use that stat, whatever, man. But he had that. But if you look at PJ Walker, this is who we got. He has a career of about 12 to 15. Cam Newton came here, he was about 20. Baker Mayfield right now is 15.9. Sam Darnold is like 30-something. So when I look at all of these different quarterbacks that have not had success, what's the common denominator? And I'm not saying like these are some of their career lows. What's the common denominator? He used Joe Brady as a scapegoat. He used Teddy Bridgewater as an scapegoat. He used all these other people as scapegoats, and then he couldn't use anybody else at this point. So everybody had to look at him and say, guess what? You are the common denominator. That's just what logic tells me. So I don't know. I'm not saying Baker's all world, but I do know this. Steve Wilks was a defensive coordinator with the Cleveland Browns, and he's very high on Baker. He knows the competitor that he is. He knows the type of things that he can bring to this locker room to help this team win. Now, is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm not Mike Stradamus. I don't know at this point. I just got to see. I got to see one game with him there. But I believe in that you will see a different Baker Mayfield. You're going to see a much better play of P.J. Walker because we're not going to rely on them to throw the ball and have to make games when you got Christian McCaffrey and these running backs to run the daggone ball. You drafted Ike Ekwonu, left tackle, as one of the best run blocking tackles in this, as the best run back blocking tackle in this draft. But yet you want to throw. I'm sorry. That's your idea.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. Listening to y'all talk about Tepper, and talk about how much of a scumbag he is, I wouldn't put too much stock in what Steve Wilks going to do as a coach because I wouldn't put it past him to tell him to tank, like for real. Like if he is as scumbaggish as y'all saying that he is, like I wouldn't put it past him to want him to phone it in. And it's not like we ain't seen this before. I mean, we heard about Brian Flores. Talk about Stephen Ross, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, wanted him to tank for about $200,000 a game. So there's some validity behind that. There's some validity behind that. That was proven. That's the reason why he's not on the sideline. That's why he can't be at the games. Right. So I wouldn't put it past. Like, look, I believe Steve Wilks is a guy that didn't get a fair shake in Arizona. He was one and done. I mean, we all look. I know what it was about. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody else. We know what it is, but I would not put it past based on what y'all tell. I'm just saying based on what y'all saying about this guy and how he moves. It would not be out of the realm of possibility that he tries to force this guy to try to tank games or something. You know what I'm saying? Like so y'all can get a better draft pick, so y'all could draft a quarterback that can be a franchise. I mean, you got Bryce Young out there. You got C.J. Stroud that's coming out. You got a couple guys that they're going to put some behinds in some seats. And from the looks of it, like you said when you were talking about Cam Newton, seemed like he wants to be a Jerry Jones. He wants to be a George Steinbrenner, right? He wants to be Vince McMahon. Like he wants to be a showman. And he wants to have, the greatest show on earth. So I wouldn't put it past him. So we'll see, though. We'll see.
Yeah.
I believe in Wilks too much of a guy that's born in Charlotte, went to high school, graduated from Charlotte. Like this means too much to him to fall victim.
Brian Flores,
right? And that's the part that won't, I believe, give him the job here is because I don't think he's gonna do that. Personally.
Nope.
I mean, this could be his last look as a potential head coach. So
that's right.
Unfair.
I don't think he could. It would not behoove him to go along with the tank plan because he may not even get another shot. Given that he was a one and done, I'm pretty sure he was itching to even get this shot that he has now, and screwing it up by tanking is gonna for sure, bury him for good. I feel.
Right.
Yeah. Do you think it would bury him for good though? Look. We're having this conversation right now. If a person knows Tepper around the league, they know that he has these tendencies that y'all talking about he has. So how would that be an indictment on Wilks? I just don't see that. I still feel like somebody will give him an opportunity. Now, right. He can go out here, he can win games. I'm thinking about Raheem Morris when he was coaching y'all for a minute, right? You know what I'm saying? He had Atlanta looking pretty doggone good.
Dan Quinn,
he came looking good.
He came in and did good after Dan Quinn, but he has gotten several looks since, right? So he was close the last cycle, but we got to watch the Carolina Panthers at the trade deadline. If they're selling off players, that could be a form of tanking. Like if Christian McCaffrey goes,
good point,
or Brian Burns goes. that could be the way to handicap Wilkes, even if he wanted to try to win. I'm not going to give you nothing to win with. So you kind of got to watch them at the trade deadline. If they're selling high, then they're really going for the tank. So
yeah, good point. That's a good point.
Very good point.
I pray that doesn't happen, but there are rumors right now that the Buffalo Bills were reaching out for Christian McCaffrey and that the Green Bay Packers were looking at Robbie, and they're the ones that offered the 7th round pick. So
you know that Buffalo is what Carolina North. So
absolutely. And one more nugget, man, before we transition up out of this. Shout out to Cody from C3 Podcast. Go check him out if you haven't checked him out. He broke this news probably about 2 weeks ago that Wilkes and Phil Snow were beefing and that they had some animosity because he felt like Phil Snow's college scheme was not built for the NFL offenses and sustaining wins and just the way that we practice all kind of different things. Teddy already threw some stuff out there about we didn't practice much in the red zone and 2-minute, all that type of stuff. But there was some there was some beef there between Al Holcomb and along with Steve Wilkes with Phil Snow. So as soon as Matt Rule got fired, David Tepper gave the staff to Steve Wilkes to make those decisions. And the first person that he was able to cut and kick off this roster, this team, was Phil Snow. So that confirmed even more that there was some issues because he's been around the NFL. He knows what a defensive coordinator, he's done that for years in the NFL supposed to do. And with all this talent that we have, and it was just something that was brought up, and I paid attention. I had my ear to the street, but I just wanted to, kind of play it out. And it made sense once Phil Snow got up out of here, but they're a package deal. So peace out, Matt Rule. Peace out, Phil Snow. Thank y'all for building this team. We got very good talent, if you ask me, young talent. So I'm excited about the future of the Carolina Panthers. Now, if y'all are okay with transitioning and not TJ out,
I'm
this
good.
Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston thing. We got to talk about this. Because I seen it early when y'all got him. I told DJ, I said, man, I want to touch on this because I think it's going to be a competition there. And I know DJ, my bad. DJ, that's his boy. So he like, nah, I ain't no competition.
Hey, listen, before TJ touches this, look, TJ, you know for a fact I ride with Jameis, right?
I know.
I believe in him. I still to this day believe in him. But I said earlier to Mike, I was trying to find the saying. I didn't know how to say it. But what was it? If it looked like a duck, if it quacked like a duck, it's like it's a duck. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, and I can't say it's his fault. Like, but how many times am I going to say that before you can really be like, well, Jameis? And I still hope, I hope that he still can. And look, he's hurt, right? I mean, this guy's always hurt. He got injuries that he fights through, and I've said it for years. He has no business fighting through some of these injuries because you watch a lot of other quarterbacks that would just go get healthy and then come back. He decides to continue to play through it, make it worse, make the recovery longer because he wants to be out there. He loves football way too much, but it's to his own detriment. But again, because he can't stay out of his own way, he keeps on running to these issues, which while we're sitting here now talking about Andy Dalton or Jameis Winston. I say all that to open the door. I don't know if Sean got anything to say. Definitely want to hear what you say.
Is it because he's a black quarterback and he feel like he don't have the type of leeway and cushion to be able to sit down and try to rest? Because as you can see, he tried to rest the London game and this past weekend. Already his spot is gone. Just it seems like they were waiting for this to happen. How quickly it was pulled up under him, it was like they wanted it for Andy Dalton. And do you feel like he don't feel like he can rest because of that, because of the stigma behind, the black quarterback, to where he has to constantly show that he's winning, he's great, and he can't be average, when Andy Dalton shows that he can be an average quarterback and still get much more opportunities than Jameis probably would ever get.
You know the funny thing about that, before TJ, well, she's probably going to agree, their offense changed. Their offense changed immediately when they got to Andy Dalton. It's like you now want to use a Taysom a little more. You know what I'm saying? You want to have routes, even concepts look different. Obviously, he was getting the ball out a little quicker. I don't know. It looked like not the play of the quarterback looked better. It was just a simple fact that y'all just look better. And that also can go into what we were talking about of teams not playing players at the beginning of the season. You might also have all that coming together. And also, I thought it was a little nugget. I don't know about Michael Thomas, man. I'll continue to say it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know for the camaraderie of what your team is if he meshes good with that. He's very snarky. He's very diva-ish. I remember watching the interview early this year, and he like, man, you the motherfucker that always talks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, he has like that whole like, man, leave me alone, man. I'm Michael Thomas, and you saw what I did. And I'm going to continue to come out here and do what I do. And if he's not getting what he needs to get, he going to throw a little fit. And I don't know if that fits. You know what I'm saying? But once again, I'm just throwing it out there. I'll let TJ go.
But you are the biggest Michael Thomas hater I know.
What does Michael Thomas have to do with this?
Nothing.
Because if look, not only has Jameis Winston been out, who else has been out?
Michael Thomas.
Come on, let's not act like, you know what I'm saying? Like this.
But the man is a beast, though, man, when he playing, you know what I'm saying? So
his spot is not threatened, though.
For real, at all. This man can miss 8 weeks.
One that's on the hot seat, and I can't even say that he played his way out of a job. And I can't say Andy Dalton played his way into the job, but the narrative around it is like, Daniel Jameis is bought over with. Like, they don't want nothing to do with him. Is it the 30 for 30 still creeping up behind him? Like, that still staying in his name? Like, TJ, you're much more in the
It goes further than the 30 for 30, dog.
So why is it, why is Jameis so easily whooshed away, it feels like, to me, from the outside looking in?
Facts.
Well, it's because they didn't want him in the first place. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, Sean, man, our teams were in that Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, right? We all were waiting with bated breath to see where he was going to go, and both of our respective teams were a part of that list. And Jameis was basically sitting there on the sidelines. And then, once Deshaun Watson goes to Cleveland, the Saints hit him with that "hey, big head" text, so he was never like their first choice. I mean, and even the addition of Andy Dalton, man, look, Andy Dalton's have over 160 starts in his career, right? If you are so content with the quarterback play, you feel like you're gonna get a bunch of really good quarterback play out of a player, you wouldn't go out there and get a seasoned veteran like Andy Dalton. You probably would have went with Ian Book because you were so sure about the talent and the abilities that Jameis Winston possessed. So I just think that they just kind of protected themselves by getting Andy Dalton. And I always said it. I said that the injuries that he sustained, the reason why he was playing was just for this particular moment that we're at right now, because he couldn't be relaxed. He couldn't just sit back and be like, okay, man, I need to rest. I got 4 fractures in my back. Other quarterbacks can do that, but he knew that every game was like an audition. And he can never go out there and just feel like the job was his. And as soon as he goes down, and to me, it wasn't even his decision. To me, it was like a quiet benching, if you want to be honest, because they went to him. He went out there to practice, and it was like they put their hand out like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't going to have you practice today. We're going to go with Andy. We got to get you better. And they're hiding behind that. But in reality, I just think that they weren't very satisfied with his play. The 11 sacks that he had, the turnover started to creep up. And now you have Andy Dalton coming in. They feel like they can be a little bit more stable. I do agree with what you're saying, DJ. That offense looks completely different. I can't remember the last time I seen a screen pass to Alvin Kamara, or even a pass in a flat. My goodness, that was like a Bigfoot sighting. It's been a while since we actually seen that. So they did change it up. Do I feel like it's sabotage? No, I don't, because you still have a first-year coach that's trying to prove himself. He has like a quote-unquote 30 for 30 type resume himself, not being a successful head coach. So not, you know what I'm saying, like sabotaging Jameis, that basically means you're sabotaging yourself. Look, I feel bad for Jameis, but this is the reality. As long as Andy Dalton makes that offense look good, as long as Andy Dalton is putting the Saints in positions to win, it's going to be hard for Jameis to come back. And I know he came back to practice today, but I don't think he's going to play. I think the Saints like what they did last week. They ran the ball 48 times for over 200 yards. Taysom Hill was all over the field. Andy Dalton, you know, he did his little thing, dinking and dunking. They had the highest third down conversion rate of the year. They look very successful offensively. So they're not going to shy away from that. I feel bad for Jameis, but at the end of the day, this is a results league. This isn't a popularity contest. If it was, Jameis would be my quarterback because I like the guy so much. But it's going to be hard for him to get back on the field, especially if Andy Dalton is playing good enough for the Saints to win every single week. And if they do end up winning, again, 2 games in a row, how are you going to justify bringing back Jameis when Andy Dalton has shown that he can effectively facilitate the ball to where it needs to be and have your offense, you know, running effectively? So.
And that's the part I want to see. I want to see Andy Dalton with a Michael Thomas. I want to see him with the full offense because we didn't get a chance to see that last week. And so I'm curious because of the way the Saints move, they were more timing, get the ball out your hands, throw anticipation, those dumps, those moving. That's not Jameis's strength. Jameis's strength is being able to really stretch the field, but he doesn't throw with great anticipation. I'm not saying he can't, but he doesn't throw with great anticipation. And so a guy like Michael Thomas needs a guy like a Drew Brees to really help his game flourish. He needs a guy that can get the ball out of his hands quick, decisive, and throw with anticipation like Andy Dalton, like I saw in the preseason and saw in some of this. Now, is he being a world beater? No. We've seen the Dallas Cowboys right now with Cooper Rush being able to run the ball and just make the throws to move the chains. And if Andy Dalton can do that with what you just said, Jay, with that defense continually getting better this season, I think they can have something. If they get this dub, like you said, TJ, there's no way I'm going back to him. I can't go back to him unless something just bad happens and the bottom just falls out. Then I'm going back to him. But I can't because I've seen the turnovers and the mistakes that you've made. I call him Santa Jameis. I like Jameis. I'm a Florida State fan. I call him Santa Jameis because he's always going to give the Carolina Panthers some gifts. I promise you. So I don't know. I don't know how he – oh, man, I hate this for Jameis because he's a good guy. I think he's a really good guy. Matt Rule, good guy. I fall for good guys, but I'm sorry. I'm a good guy.
Hey, I will say this, though, about Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton. You said, DJ, that their offense looked completely different. You know why? Because that was the same offense David was running for 15 years with Drew Brees. That's the exact same offense, the same offense that they ran with Drew. Those short intermediate passes, like even that quick slant. Like there was a quick slant that Marquez Callaway caught for 5 yards. I mean, that was a Michael Thomas special right there. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, like let's just say, for example, if he had a blank jersey on, like you would think that the way he was running that offense, you would think that's Drew Brees out there, especially like the last couple of years of his career. Like Drew Brees wasn't throwing for 300 yards. He was throwing for about $180, 200 yards. And that's right where Andy would have been if Taysom Hill didn't throw that 22-yard pass to Troutman. So they ran the same exact offense. But the problem is you can't do that for Jameis because Jameis has a different skill set, and coordinators tend to basically sit down with those quarterbacks and say, okay, what plays do you like? And I also feel like with Jameis, he can do some things with players with less talent. He showed he can do that, but he needs a Michael Thomas, a Jarvis Landry, because the way that he plays, like he gonna put the ball out there because he trusts those wide receivers. So you need those guys like a Jarvis Landry that's gonna go up and get it. Michael Thomas that's gonna win that 50-50 ball, and Chris Olave gonna stretch the defense. So it's unfortunate, man. But as long as Andy Dalton continues to win or that offense look like it's respectable, I don't think he's gonna play.
Andy Dalton in New Orleans. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
I mean, I don't like it. I mean, I wish that none of these things, were plaguing Jameis, but that's just the reality, man. Like, you look at his contract, it's not like, he's making a boatload of money. Like with Cooper Rush, he's undefeated as a starting quarterback. But when Dak get back, he playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody about to have over, $200 million sitting on no bench. That's just not gonna happen. So it's the unfortunate reality. It's a result-driven league. They look at the contracts, they look at the stability of the team, and it's going to be hard for him to get back on the field.
It sure is.
All right, man. Hey, shout out to the chat real quick, man. Brian, Dwayne, Jay, Damian, Trill One,
Damian.
Hey, man, the chat's being filled up, man. Salute to you guys, man, and ladies.
Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, definitely shout out to him. So, I guess it's a good place to look forward. Hit everything else. We hit what's already happened in the past, but we here. Next 4 games, next quarter, before we come back again.
We going 4-0. No, I'm just playing my bad.
That's what you said.
Hey, you might. You never know.
That ain't no
Mike. Y'all got the Rams at home, or got
PJ Walker. PJ Walker going 4-0.
Hey, PJ Walker has not lost as a starter. He has not lost as a starter. Everybody giving Cooper Rush that his record because he's not lost. PJ Walker is undefeated as a starter.
How many games?
It don't matter.
He won it over.
Is this regular season shit?
Context.
Who out here losing to PJ Walker? I know that coach is not in the league anymore.
Arizona Cardinals. I think he was 2-0, 3-0, something like that as a starter.
Okay.
Yeah.
XFL.
I mean, for the Carolina Panthers, man. He's 2-3 up. But anyway, go ahead, DJ. Go ahead. You want to start with the bottom feeder. Go ahead and start with the bottom feeder right now.
I mean, you start off, so we go, you got the Rams in LA. You got the Bucks at home. Atlanta in Atlanta. And Cincy in Cincy. So y'all gonna be on the road a little bit in these 4 games. Mike,
we playing them. We playing them at home. They're in New Orleans. They come into New Orleans for their game.
Oh, you talking about us when we got them?
Oh, okay. No.
I'm probably gonna know that's 4. I'm about to say I ain't messed up again, did I?
Oh no, my bad, man. I'm sorry. I'm thinking you talking about the. Yeah, go ahead, my bad.
Whoever. Yeah,
you putting stuff together with a boy in your hand. That anyway. But Mike, yeah. Well, what are you feeling? You feeling better? Obviously, Matt Rule firing, new life. What we looking at?
Yeah, I feel good with these. None of these offenses to me, outside of the Falcons, which I've communicated, have an identity. The Rams are scoring less points than the Carolina Panthers. That's bad. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we've seen their offense. Y'all seen them move the ball, but can't y'all go from 20 to 20, but struggle getting the end zone. The Cincinnati Bengals, I believe in the Super Bowl hangover. I've seen it happen for my team. It happens. And they're starting to get going, but we don't know who they're going to be. Now, I didn't leave any team out, but if there's a team on this schedule, I don't know. I don't see anybody that's world beaters. I really don't. I don't see anybody that's world beaters. Now, this is what I'm saying. We've seen people have changes in the season and it lights a fire under them, and then they go on some little crazy run for about 2, 3 games, and then it may die out. We've seen this happen. So where do I feel going forward? I'm ecstatic. I'm excited because the talent has always been there, in my opinion. It's just the coaching and being able to put the guys in position to have success. I don't know what Steve Wilkes is going to give us, so it's hard for me to just say we're going to go undefeated or have a winning record or any of that. But I am more optimistic now than I was after that Cleveland Brown game week 1. I am, and I don't give a darn who on the schedule. I don't care if it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't care if it's the Atlanta Falcons. I don't care nothing about them Super Bowl champs. Don't care about them. I don't know. I feel good about it. I really do. Now, you want me to pick a record?
Which ones you say, how many you think you might get out them for a game? I know it's different. You probably are in the weirdest position of any of
We
us.
need a prediction,
You don't know
man.
what's going to
And
look like.
you gonna
Don't let him
start
out
with
the
me.
hook. We need a prediction. That was the
I
question.
just gotta
the
coach.
question before the show. We need a prediction.
Man, my coach had his first practice today, and you want me to give a prediction?
Don't give me all this 1995, been coaching for 20 years. He's a black West Charlotte, from Charlotte. Give me a prediction.
Your Q. It's like, I don't know.
He is a Q.
Oh.
I say 2-2. Being realistic, I'll go 2-2.
Okay.
I'll go 2-2 in this.
That's a safe. That's respectable.
Yeah, I'll go 2-2. I mean, I can't be. I do have respect for coaching, and so Todd Bowles is an amazing coach, in my opinion. Defensive coordinating coach. Let me give him that, a defensive coach. I think Sean McVay is a really good coach. I like Arthur Smith. We've been giving him props. And you know, I got 2 teams that just played in 3 teams that just played in the Super Bowl the past 2 years that we got to face in this stretch. So I got to give respect where respect is due. So give me 2 and 2. You see that, bro? I got bars. Boy, what's wrong with y'all? That's all that Dr. Seuss I've been reading to my son. Can we move on from me? The toilet bowl.
All right. TJ, let's go. Wait.
Well, I say no.
Yeah, it's
Nah, we-
Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah, Atlanta Knicks.
So,
Technically.
Atlanta Falcons, Mr. Sean. Look, you got
4 games.
You got your next 4 games looking like San Fran at home.
I mean, earlier today I did say 2-2, but I'm feeling 3-1 right now.
Ooh, and let me go over this. So you got Cincinnati.
I think this week is a sleeper. This is a sleeper week.
Chargers.
I think what San Francisco put too many foots in the Panthers' ass, so it's gonna be tough for them to take it out in time enough to try to put it up in us. So we may catch them off guard. They spending a lot of energy beating y'all down, so we can catch the 49ers off. So I think the 49ers, the Panthers, and we may split with the Bengals and the Chargers. The Chargers are not playing up to par this year. They did have a comeback victory against the Browns last week, who, we beat the Browns too. So the Chargers or the Bengals may get us, but I think we can sneak up on the 49ers and, beat P.J. Walker, probably give him his first loss in the NFL if that's what it takes, But I got us 3-1 at so what that will take us to 5-4 at the end. Yeah.
5-4.
Yeah, we'll probably be tied for the division by then.
Wow.
You gonna ride with it on the second quarter, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Bucks are not going nowhere. I told y'all are not getting out of arm's reach of nobody this year. I have not seen anything that would tell me different. So Falcons, man, but it depends on. But that's tough, man, because I'm not even accounting Cadell Patterson.
Dog.
Cadell Patterson. We don't know about Kyle Pitts yet. I would love to have Kyle Pitts back. But, if we can establish the run and continue to run the ball and Mariota make the throws that are needed to move the chains and potentially get us in the end zone, he's not somebody that, as you can see, the first 3 quarters, he's not somebody that's going to put the team on his back, put the offense on his back. So we got to establish the run. So if we're able to establish the run, which is going to be tough as hell this week, but, with the Bengals, I think we're going to have a good shot. The Panthers, by the end, their souls are going to be broken. And then, boom, we got the Chargers. I think we can go 3-1 in that. Easy.
A bold prediction real quick. Desmond Ridder is the starter during this stretch.
Ooh.
Bold prediction. Okay. I doubt it. I kind of doubt it. I don't think he's ready.
Them boys hit in 49er territory.
Yeah. They hitting now. They hit, but we don't have Baker, so we got something a little bit better than Baker. Our running backs ain't not made out of glass like CMC, so we may be able to a little bit run.
Who on IR?
IR.
Somebody on IR right now.
Oh yeah, we had somebody on IR. We had our starting running back with total 25 carries in his whole NFL career. Still ran for 160 on the Bucs. The championship caliber defense was what I was told. Still put up 160.
Who did that?
Down 21 points the whole game, and we still ran.
Man, y'all took an L, man. Move on, man. Just get out of my face with that.
We took an L. We took a FLAG. We took an L, but it was in between the F and the AG. We took a flag. That's the L we took. FLAG.
Oh my God!
We took a flag.
We can talk about that last game of the season where y'all had to figure out if y'all gonna be in that position. It ain't gonna matter because that L gonna still stand.
It's gonna stand.
TJ said before when they lost to the Rams and Minnesota in the playoffs, them things hurt, especially the Rams one. I bet that one hurt.
Man, you ain't lying. That still hurt just thinking about it right now.
You're talking about week 4. When you got your whole season ahead of you to still try to do something out of it. You over here crying about this one.
No.
You supposed to be moving on from. You told me you moved on from.
I use week 4 to, project how we are going to play in week 5, 6, in all of these weeks. So what we doing, like you guys said about our offense, we've shown an identity no matter who we're playing, no matter what the score is, down 21-0, we still stuck to the run and we still did our play action, and that got us back into the game. Our defense locked up, and, if we can keep those same principles in games going forward, I think we're going to be in every game that we play, and we're going to have an opportunity to win. So 3-1, 2-2, is feasible, is reachable, but we have to execute at that same level and better, right? If we want to get those wins.
I ain't even mad at it. I ain't mad at it.
Speak your truth. I think they blew their load, and I think they're gonna be 1-3. But that ain't my business.
And shout out to
ask you for your prediction, brother.
Because you talking about the roughing and passing stuff. That's what I gave.
Go ahead, brother.
And shout out to Remy Ja, man. I'm not picking Carolina to go 4-0 like you, dog. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
That's that new life.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. We haven't seen any of this, and you just automatically think the NFL is Madden. We just gonna put a new coach and automatically we're gonna go undefeated because we got talent. Yeah. Come on, man. Come on. Shout out to you though. Appreciate you.
Well, I guess I'm next, right?
You next.
Yeah. So in your stretch, you got Cincy at home, Arizona in Arizona. You got Vegas at home and Baltimore at home. So I got a stretch of little home games coming up. That Nation, they're going to be out for them games. What you thinking?
I'm thinking based on this schedule right here, I got to just take into account like some of these injuries they have, man. I mean, that these injuries that they have look like a Christmas list. Lattimore gets hurt last week. He didn't practice today. Michael Thomas didn't practice. I mean, you got a bunch of talented guys out there. Chris Olave in concussion protocol. I mean, he's been like a breath of fresh air. Look, I feel this way. I'm kind of on the fence with the Bengals, but I say they're going to win that game. It's going to be probably, a little tough game for them to win. But I think they're going to try to go out there with some of these guys that were playing last week. Maybe Chris Olave will play if he clears protocol. It looks like he will. But I think like that Thursday night game that they're playing against Arizona, you might be able to get Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry back. And that's probably what you'll need because coming on a short week and those guys are being rested, they'll give them, some fresh legs going into that game. So they could possibly, knock off Arizona, but I'm going to say they won't because it's so hard for a team that's traveling, especially if you're traveling to a different time zone to actually win a game like that. So I say they're going to most likely lose that one. The Raiders at home, Raiders always play the Saints tough for some apparent reason. Like the Raiders always beat the Saints, but I think that's going to change this year. Josh McDaniel, I don't trust him as a coach. I think I think that he smoking mirrors, as I like to say.
Michael,
I really don't feel like Josh McDaniel is a good coach. I think he falls that category. How some coaches are good coordinators and not good head coaches. I feel like that's what he is. So I think the Saints are going to win that. And as far as with the Baltimore Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens are not our high school, middle school Baltimore Ravens that were just built on defense. I mean, we've seen this team blowing big leads. We've seen these guys, jump out the gate and then all of a sudden sputter down the stretch. So that's a winnable game as well. So I got the Saints going 3-1.
Can't even be mad at that.
Nope.
Can't be mad at that.
Not at all, TJ.
2-2 at the worst.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't believe in that division.
Nah, and Baltimore, like you said, how much I like Lamar Jackson, they continuously blow leads. Like,
yeah, but Lamar on that turf, he gonna be on that turf, so it may be a little different.
Yeah,
you guys should be able to get after Joe Burrow. So he's sack prone. He holds the ball a lot.
Yeah,
you guys can get after Joe Burrow. But he has had some success down in that state, so
Yeah, you got a lot of Saints fans out here, man, talking about they're gonna be cheering for Joe Burrow. Like there's a divide, man. Like because what he did at LSU, bringing the national championship along with Jamar Chase, like these guys, people rooting for these guys, and not to mention, man, you got some guys that contribute in a major way. For the New Orleans Saints, Trey Hendrickson, what I'm saying? He'll form a Saint. Von Bell. Eli Apple, not so much. Everybody looking to make sure he get toasted. But there's a love affair, what I'm saying, with some of those guys. And, man, people are talking about wearing the Joe Burrow jersey. I'm telling you, man.
You're going to see a lot.
It might feel like a neutral site game. That's been the topic of conversation because of the love that Louisianians have for Joe Burrow and what he did, bringing a Heisman Trophy to LSU. It might sound like a neutral site game in some cases.
Wow. That's going to be one to watch right there. That's going to be one to watch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're definitely watching that. All right, 3-1. So,
yeah, let's move on.
You want to set up, Mike? You want me to read it off?
Yeah, let's move on to America's team.
The official.
Oh man, don't do me like that, man.
The official team.
That's like a hurt. I don't want that. You saw the Cowboys been over the last 25 years. I don't want that
shit.
I don't want nothing to do with that.
All right, man. So y'all got a
minor game.
We got the setup. So we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Carolina Panthers, Baltimore Ravens, and the Rams, who've always given y'all trouble.
Whew.
They definitely have. And I mean, look, I think because we got past that Atlanta Falcons game, we got Pittsburgh, who not looking good. Obviously, they just brought in Kenny Pickett. He out here already starting fights like he freaking Mason Rudolph because people messing with him and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, Mike Tomlin got something on his hands over there. They still got a decent defense. Obviously, this ain't the steel curtain. Pittsburgh and their offense is god awful. I mean, you talk about Chase Claypool still out there. Still think he's the best receiver out there. Ain't doing nothing. George, what's his name? George Pickens. I love to come out the draft.
He'll be.
Yeah, that one catch that was amazing, but he's nowhere to be found. Like, look, that offense is just terrible right now, and their offensive line, like, they still have same problems over there. Feel real good about that game. Like you just said about the Carolina Panthers, this is now going to be game 2 with Steve Wilks. It's still interesting to see what changes are going to be made. It's still early, I don't know, and I feel good about that because, like I said, they're going to be still trying to make a lot of adjustments of things that Matt Rule put in place with the Carolina Panthers. I think that's still going to be going on by that game. So I feel really good about that game. The Rams, look, Matt Stafford right now throwing picks. He's just out here. He's scared. His offensive line, they should have did everything they could to keep that tackle they had.
Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah, man, because that offensive
Austin Corbin.
Yep, the offensive line is just bad. You know what I'm saying? They got one receiver in Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson. Somebody please put an APP out on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't worried about that. You know, Baltimore Ravens on a short week. We just talked about short weeks. They're coming to Tampa. That was a game I was kind of I'm not sure. But once again, they're coming to our home. They got a couple games they got to deal with, you know, in regards to that. So, look, these are all winnable games for the Bucs. But I'm not going to sit here and act like the Bucs are going to sit here and win all these games. But I do feel like this is going to be a 3-1. I feel good about maybe 4-0, but like I said, the Rams, out of all these, we got to, just like a hump we had with New Orleans Saints, we got a hump with the LA Rams that we got to get over. The rest of these games, like I said, they're just winnable. Like, these games are winnable. I mean, the highest scoring team is the Baltimore Ravens on this thing. And even though we have our little woes, I think the Rams got some issues. I think Carolina got issues and Pittsburgh got issues. So I definitely see it's going 3-1.
Why you say little, though? Why you say little woes?
I mean, because it could be a lot worse, but it's still bad. It's been getting a little better. You know, we had 31 one week. We got still 21. We got in the 20s these last 2 weeks. So hopefully we continue to stay in them 20s, maybe get into the 30s or something. You know, with Chris Godwin coming off, you know, looking better every week. You know, Mike Evans, you know, Kate Otten. Hopefully, you know, he's getting that little connection. We're bringing in what's my man's name? Our second string running back to catch a couple passes, which eloquently. Rashad White, there it is. Rashad White doing things that Brady likes to do, like dump the ball off. So I don't know. I think we can kind of keep it rolling with trying to put some points up, but they still got to fix this red zone thing and get back to what I know is such a high-powered offense, because we ain't gonna run for nothing. I mean, that's just continuously being shown. We ain't never gonna be a team that's gonna ground and pound you. That's why we almost lost to the Falcons, because we're not consistent with runs. So that's just a problem for us. So relax. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I still feel good. I think we're gonna get 3-1 out this quarter.
You want to say 4-0 so bad?
He do.
I can't. I really can't. Like, to not have a sustained running game, like I said, and I just feel like they're gonna find a way to just drop one of these games they ain't got no business dropping. I just feel like it's gonna happen.
Can't kill the clock, man. That run game, not able to run, man. That's gonna leave the door open.
And I've been
a lot of teams. I almost left that door open Sunday.
We had an issue for 3 years now.
That's your problem, man.
4 years.
It's different though now, man. The NFL, if you look at the teams that are having success in the NFL, they've been able to establish a run game. Y'all aren't even attempting. It seemed like at times y'all aren't attempting. Y'all ran 6 times against the Chiefs.
That game got ugly fast. There was no way you can run that ball like that. We're not a team that can do stuff like that, so we're going to go right to what we consider our bread and butter. That game got out of hand from Jump Street. I mean,
there was.
Yeah, so there was, I understand what you're saying, but we're not the Falcons, right? We're not going to, just because things are going wrong, we're just going to continue to run the ball because we know Marcus Mariota can't throw that thing. So, it's not going to happen that way. So they're going to go back to what they do, just like we're going to do what we do, especially when we're down. We're going to just start airing it out. You know what I'm saying? You got Tom Brady here. You got these other weapons everybody will love talking about. It's going to have to happen that way. Because our running game ain't ish still, unfortunately.
All right. 52 attempts last week, and you were up all game.
And he got a bum shoulder, by the way. You got to take that into consideration.
He got a hand that he got right in center. Old man. Old.
We'll see.
His tear ducts, we know they working really good. So as long as those are in operation, he got a chance.
Sean, you my man, dog. Yeah. It's all good. He's still on top of his division. You guys still come this direction to get passes. So
yeah, I had to give it to you. I know I had to give it to you.
I can't wait to. Ooh, I better. You said 3-1, right? Okay.
I'm telling you.
So everybody went 3-1 except for me, huh?
I went 2-2, I think.
Oh, you went 2-2? Okay.
I think 3-1. I don't know. 3-1.
I heard 3-1. I
thought I heard 3-1 too.
That's what I heard it. Okay.
You might go back to the tape.
Oh, film don't lie.
Everybody heard it.
I would say tape don't lie. Like TJ said, ain't nobody watching no film no more.
Man, for real. the digitized the digitized film.
Yes, sir.
Watching the tape.
Yeah, man. This was fun, man. This was fun.
Oh, yeah, that's what's up, man. But definitely going, resurface this back, the week of the 7th of November. Ooh, almost Thanksgiving time. Food. Yep. But I'll say this while we're here. Good luck to y'all in this second quarter. But we're gonna still be on this top of this month, like when we get in the second quarter,
Oh, they gonna make sure of that.
Yeah.
That's fine. You know what? I'm always embrace. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, your team ass, but you got Tom Brady. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna take
personal foul, illegal eye contact.
Right.
It's cool, man.
Number 55 defense, 25-yard penalty.
Right.
Yeah.
They need the Pro Bowl rules.
Right.
No blitzing. No tackling.
Cool.
The lingerie league, them women in the lingerie league go harder than him.
Just make sure you come out this quarter 3-1, dog. That's all I'm gonna say. Just make sure y'all come out this month 3-1.
Y'all looking, my boy.
Hey, this was fun, man. I'm glad we were able to chop it up. We had a little debates, arguing back and forth, man, all that stuff. But the great thing about it, man, we handled this thing with class.
Oh yeah,
passionately. It was a great round table, man. It's always good catching up with all y'all, man. Strong division. I don't care what the record says, man. We got some good talent, like you said, TJ, in this division, and I think we're gonna see some things to start to trend upward. Now that we're in October, so it's gonna be fun.
All right. Great show, fellas. Great show as always. Niner gang. You're gonna take that L this week, buddy. I see you down there. I'll let you next week. But good show, fellas.
Oh, not a gang. Yeah, he already know. They already show up at stadiums. They show up in chats. Boy, they gonna come your ass. Boy. I'm trying to that ass, boy. Hey, they stopped the run. They gonna go with that. Yeah. We gonna do a preview show.
They're good. They got a lot of injuries though. A lot. But they're good. They're a good football team. But they got a lot of injuries. So I think it's gonna be a good game for them.
What's his name? Used to play in the league. Played for the Texans all them years. They defensive coordinator.
Oh, D'Amico Ryan.
D'Amico Ryan. Yeah, I like him.
Oh, yeah.
Them boys playing, boy.
From Alabama. Yeah, I was on I was in the Navy. His brother was on my ship at that time when he was in Alabama.
Okay.
Brother, and I've been watching him up the move since college. Yeah. Doing good. Big things.
Yeah,
so this week, he about to do little things.
Celebrating with him. So
about to get ran through this week. He about to get ran through. Niner gang. You know what's up.
Yeah, man.
Well, look out for that.
This is for Kyle Shanahan. I'll be damned if we lose to that guy. He cost us a Super Bowl. So this is personal. Just like DJ say when the Kansas City Chiefs whooped his ass, it was personal for them.
Yeah, that was very personal by Kansas City.
And we about to get personal with Kyle Shanahan this week. We ain't forgot. We'll never forget. Run the damn ball. And that's what we're about to do.
Nobody will ever forget 23 either. But on that, we gonna say we have. Appreciate everybody for real though.
All right, man. Good.
Take care.